Man, you come straight out of a comic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Straight Outta a Comic Book. I am your host, Will Pharaoh. We are live right now on my YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. We are trying out Instagram Live as well on these. Now, normally we have Straight Outta a Comic Book on Saturdays, but that is changing. For the new live schedules, we're going to be going Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Monday, we are going to we're going to do a segment on my Twitch majority and Twitter as well. But we are going to be doing what's called Finish the Story. I have a whole bunch of video games I have not finished. I need to finish them. And so that is what the journey will be. On Mondays, we will find video games such as Cyberpunk and these other ones that I will finish so we can move on to some other ones and be able to enjoy. Wednesday is going to be TCW, of course, Trail Championship Wrestling. And then Friday will be the live Straight Out of a Comic Book, which we will have the episodes come out on the channel itself for Straight Out of a Comic Book on the YouTube. So if you're experiencing a live, cool. But if you want to rewatch the footage, or for those that are going to be new to the footage, it will be on the Straight Out of a Comic Book YouTube channel. And it'll be broken down into other videos so you can get either straight to the point of the story you want to hear, or if you want to hear the long version, you're more than welcome to watch the full version. But we're going to be having more content continuing to come out, especially for Straight Out of a Comic Book. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to my channels, okay? I will put the link in the comments. I hope it does it on Instagram. Don't think it does it on Instagram, but I'm going to try to do it directly to there. You can follow me on those links and support if you choose to. But we got a lot to talk about today in the world of entertainment news, movies, television. But first, we want to start out with a great story about meth. Some good old meth going around this place, and you will never guess where they got the meth popping right now. A Pokemon trading card game shop in Hong Kong allegedly had more than $1 million worth of Schedule II drug methamphetamines, which for y'all is commonly known as the blue meth, the Heisenberg, that Walter White. Yes, a place in Hong Kong is selling methamphetamine so you can catch them all, and you can also catch a bump. You can get you one of them rock Pokemon and some round rock. This shit is wild. All right. It was revealed that a 28-year-old man was arrested following the discovery of what is allegedly to be 5 kilograms of crystal meth in a staff-only area of the Pokemon card shop. Now, this location housed a whole bunch of Pokemon tournaments for teenagers and children that like to attend this shop and really, build up their decks, build up their collections. But it was stated by the police that no child nor teenager was involved in the purchase of crystal meth whatsoever. I just find it funny that it is very innovative how drug dealers learn how to slang everywhere. Now, if you watch Breaking Bad, we thought Breaking Bad was doing something when he had the car wash, when he had all of these other businesses he was going through. Gus having the chicken shop up in Breaking Bad and selling meth out of there. But never in my days would I thought I'd hear crystal meth and Pokemon in the same sentence. Never would you think you'd hear those two things in the same sentence. And I just wonder, what were they slanging out of here? Were they putting card packs as well? If you buy 3 trading card packs, you get I don't know how meth is weighed out, so don't judge me. Or I guess I wouldn't be judged for the simple fact that I don't know how it's weighed out. But it's do you get 2 crystal meth rocks with every 3 packs of trading cards that you get at the Pokemon store. Like, I now want to know, what was this guy's like distribution, if he was even, distributing out of here, or was he just moving weight? Well, they really just wait. I'm curious as to how this went. Like, was there an after hours with the Pokemon shop? Like, once all the teenagers and kids go home, do the adult Pokemon trainers come in and need to take the edge off of trying to catch them all, take a hit of that Heisenberg, and now they ready to battle? I'm just like, yo, like this again, two things you never think you'd hear. You always are going to hear peanut butter and jelly in the same sentence most of the time. Never on a random Tuesday or Friday afternoon are you going to think that you are going to hear crystal meth and Pokemon in the same verbiage. Wild. But the guy has been put into custody, so hopefully more of this story will develop. Maybe not. They probably are just going to put him in jail, but I just find it hilarious, and I just wonder who else is slanging drugs, because I know GameStop got to be selling cocaine. That game, there is no way GameStop is still open with the prices they be putting on these games and how they be hustling all of these fucking people out their consoles when they come to trade it in. So cocaine has to be being sold out of GameStop. I just wholeheartedly believe that somebody in GameStop is slanging that China White or that do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, but I can't.
The fact, if he didn't call the crystal meth Team Rocket, he missed out on a huge opportunity. Like, if he didn't put it in a pack that had the big ass red R on it and was distributing it, he has missed out on a lot. I would have loved to, though I wouldn't smoke it, of course, not trying to allude to that, but if you'd have gave me my drug, if you'd have gave me weed in a Pokemon ball, you'd have had me for like, you'd have had me. You'd have had a repeat customer in me. If your weed came in a Pokeball, you can't tell me you would not be excited. You would go back to your dealer all the time. All the fucking time. That shit is wild. And I'm sure, just like on here, Sage D said, I bet, and Arby's probably is selling crack. Arby's is probably selling crack. Let me see what else they got. Burlington's is selling heroin. I just wholeheartedly believe that too. Burlington Coke Factory is out here selling heroin. There, and I believe that all the way through. They are out here slanging the brown horse, that Mexican tar. Burlington Coke Factory is definitely selling that shit. Easy Not in the chat was asking me, would I pay a little more if it was a Pokeball? If it was the Pokeball that they used to have them gold cards at BKN, like if you bought an ounce and they was like, I'm gonna put the ounce in one of them Pokeballs from Burger King, but I gotta charge you like another $20, throw that 20 on there. Throw that 20 on there. That's your tip. I ain't got no problem with that. I don't have no problem with that. If you changed up the colors of the Pokeball, I love you even more. You gave me a gold color Pokeball? Fire. Fire. That's all I'm going to say. Chrissy for life on Instagram say, come get this Nurse Joy. Come and get some of this Nurse Joy out of me. Hey, you trying to hit some of that Squirtle? The Squirtle will get you right. But we're going to move on to some more news. As we know, The Boys is gearing up to end at season 5. We will probably get it sometime in 2026. But we do know that they're going to be having constant spinoffs to the show. But of course, with season 5 coming, we wanted to get a little bit of news talked about. And one of those things was that in a recent interview, the actress that plays Starlight said that she would love to be the one who kills the Deep in the final season of The Boys. She believes that the Deep has to go. He needs to get 86 off the menu ASAP, and she wants to be the chef that cooks this man up into some sushi. Okay. Not sure of how the story is going to go, how it's going to be written, who's going to make it out in the final season. But Starlight has definitely pinpointed who she would definitely take out for a permanent nap, and it is the Deep. So we will see what happens. Again, we no official date as to when The Boys is going to drop, but we shall see what is going to happen. But the Deep definitely got to go. Definitely got to go. The Deep has to go. For one, I didn't even know in the comics the Deep was black. And then they switched him. They kind of switched him up because I didn't know A-Train was white until I started watching, not watching, but actually reading the comic book. And so I was just like, oh snap, that's a different change for it. I'm not digging the Deep though. The Deep gotta go. If anybody catching that fade to the afterlife, it needs to be the Deep. The Deep need to go. He need to get his ass up out of here. And I wouldn't mind Starlight for laying his ass up. So we'll see when The Boys drops in 2026 as their final season, as their swan song to us on Amazon Prime. And some other news, apparently other people could come back from the dead in the MCU. Why not bring someone else back? So two things I learned that I was going to say was just confirmed, but it was just confirmed for my knowledge, is that James Spader will be returning to voice Ultron again in the new Vision series that's coming out on Disney Plus. Now, they have not said what or when it's coming out, but for some reason, Ultron will be back. Now, I don't know if he's going to be back as a memory. I don't know if he's going to be back as, maybe, again, something that's inside his head programming wise. We don't know. They have not stated exactly what type of role Ultron is going to have in the Vision show. But James Spader will be returning to talk as him. Not sure what's going on with this one. Just gonna be honest. Not sure how this is going to go on. I don't know if it's going to be like the Big Back 70s comment of Ultron hacking White Vision. First of all, not liking the name White Vision for some reason. I'm just like, why you can't just be like Vision 2 or Vision Dose? White Vision just make me feel uncomfortable. It just make me feel wrong. Make me feel not right when he say it. Be like it's White Vision here. No one's home. No one's home over here. If that's who's there. But I would love to see I got a comment on YouTube from Derek Green that said he used to hustle out of Frenchies. That's the one place you'd be kind of disappointed to learn especially if you're from Houston. For those that aren't from Houston, Frenchies is a chicken restaurant, fried chicken joint that also serves like different things of soul food. Think like churches, but way 10 times better. 10 times better. Fried chicken, boudin, dirty rice, boudin balls, macaroni and cheese, like just what churches wish it could be. What churches be setting out to be. And let me tell you something. If Frenchies did not have more than half of the University of Houston fed off that King special with 5 wings, fries, and a biscuit, look, they over there doing God's work. And just like Easy and I said, they definitely put crack in that chicken. Crack cocaine is being put in these ingredients at Frenchies. And with that being said, we should have a franchise in California. If anyone from Frenchies is watching this, please come set up shop in downtown LA for me even more. I will be your number one customer. I will throw away all of my gym experience. Don't tell my coach I said that. But for Frenchies, I would definitely. We're gonna have to figure out how health and fried chicken can work together. If the Avengers can come together, fried chicken and fitness should be able to come together. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying out here. But yeah, so we're going to see exactly what happens with Ultron, White Vision. Again, don't really know the full direction of what's going on with the series, but hope it gives us a lot more answers than questions. But I'm glad to hear that James Spader will be coming back to talk as the voice. I think it just matches well with him, and I can't wait to hear some more dialogue between these two characters. So shout out to James Spader, Ultron. Looking forward to Vision coming out on Disney Plus whenever they decide that it's going to drop. And some more depressing news, and I gotta light a cigarette for this one. This isn't a cigarette. This is, you know what this is. But for Instagram, I gotta say it's something else. And this is a RIP. We poured one out for the homies because we got to say RIP. Not shockingly enough, Star Wars: The Acolyte has gotten the axe from Disney Plus. It will not be getting a second season. The show has been canceled due to, we already know what it was due to. It was due to bad reviews. I'll be honest, some inconsistent storytelling, but Disney, of course, obviously must have saw the same thing, and they have decided that they are cutting their losses and will be canceling and not proceeding with a second season of The Acolytes. Now, here's my thing. Here's my thing with this. One, I wouldn't call myself a die-hard Star Wars fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan. Okay? So I just want that to be clear. Because I don't want to jump into like a whole bunch of their lore or anything like that to use this. But I didn't know too many people in this story, and it still kept me interested as someone who is more of a adjacent Star Wars viewer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll watch something on YouTube to kind of catch up with what's going on in these stories. Kind of how like I did with Ahsoka. Because I for damn sure did not watch all of the Clone Wars. I wasn't going through that. I was like, just catch me up with what happened. I was interested, which let me enjoy Ahsoka a little bit more. So to be in here and to see all of these characters that I don't really know about, but learn a little bit more about what the lore and the universe is of Star Wars, it had me very interested. Did this place have its slow moments? Yes. Was it a little bit inconsistent in things? Yes, it was. But I don't think it got enough credit for us to see this kind of pan out into something more. Like, I think us having a second season, I think we would have really seen the Acolytes get into their stride a little bit better. But unfortunately, though, you know, people are very, we critique and we make sure we'll let people know our feelings. And for, I believe, all 6 or maybe 8 episodes of this show, people did not hesitate to drag this show through the mud. Some of us, like myself, kept it up to try to give it a chance, but you know, the majority, of course, ruled in this, and the Acolytes will no longer be able to show you what they could possibly do. But you know, time always is a thing that will tell. So we never know, because Deadpool got canceled and got put on the shelf by Fox, and look where it is now. So not comparing the two at all. Just so we're making sure of that, not comparing the two, but never say never, especially when it comes to Star Wars stuff. We may see some of these characters come up again. But as we know, this season 1 was their swan song. I do appreciate the episodes that you did give us. I appreciated the story. Would have loved to see more, but I do understand, and I hope that those that were in the story continue to thrive, and we see them in other pieces of content, movies, television, and whatever, and have more continued success. So, continuing with Star Wars news, again, very, very, very judgmental group of people, and their consistency on how they want their stuff shown runs very deep. Because we also heard from the actor that plays Boba Fett that he will not be featuring in the new upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu, I believe, film. Now, it wasn't necessarily stated exactly if it was The movie, I believe they say it's the movie. So the Mandalorian Grogu movie, excuse me, just looking to make sure that we giving the correct information. So yeah, the actor that plays Boba Fett will not return for Mandalorian and Grogu. The quote that was given by the actor was, the show's reception does seem to have an impact the future of the character in the franchise. As we know, the Boba Fett series was also one of those shows that was not met with great reviews. It was also one of those that was dragged through the mud. And nobody held back in what they had to say about it. And a lot of people were not feeling it. Now, again, I can understand the acolytes for inconsistency. Where for Boba Fett's series, I think that he definitely got the shaft and the low ball in this, and that is because Star Wars fans have never sold an 8-ball in their life. That was why. Most of the Star Wars people have never sold drugs and been in these streets like that. I said it. I could be absolutely wrong, but I'm saying it for this particular story, so it goes along with what I'm saying. Because this was Star Wars version of Power. That's what this was. Boba Fett was Ghost. And y'all did not let us get our Ghost off. All right? I am upset. I am upset at this. Like, Star Wars had a chance to have a underworld series and really show us the underworld of Star Wars. Motherfuckers slinging spice and shit. Like, and y'all did not give it this shit. Bro, when I tell y'all, you can go look at all of this. When you look at Boba Fett to his down chick that he was with, that was Angela. Bro, when I tell y'all, Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett went hard as far as an underground world, an underground series of showing what the bottom of the belly of Star Wars is like. And I just really think it did not get a chance for people to get it to see that. And that is so wrong of this series. And like they said, just because the series doesn't do well, it seems for some reason the character won't do well. So now we're not even sure if Boba Fett is going to return in the Mandalorian Grogu. But if I'm being honest, though, I don't know if it's quite necessary of him to be in the Mandalorian Grogu. It's depending on what is the story going to be about for the film. Because let's say, for instance, if it's focusing more on the Grogu Jedi side or what's coming, Boba Fett may not be a necessity to be in there, especially with how they left the series off. So I don't know if that was just to kind of take a shot or maybe just kind of relieve some frustration from the actor by saying that, but I still don't see the full necessity of having Boba Fett in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. You know, and again, I understand the obvious that he is a Mandalorian. So don't get me wrong. I do understand from that concept. But is it necessary for the progression of the movie's story plot? I don't fully think so. So, I don't know if it was just being said out of frustration because it wasn't given a real chance or what. But hopefully, like the acolytes, not the whole series, but some of the characters or something. Hopefully, we do see Boba Fett again. I have no doubt that we will see Boba Fett, especially if we're still going within the live action Star Wars stories. I have no doubt that Boba Fett will pop up somewhere else. But we know that he is not going to be popping up in The Mandalorian and Grogu. we get to our next story. I had to sip water for this. I had to light this up a little bit for me. Thank you for those that are enjoying the commercial and watching this on live. Indiana Jones is back in the news. And I don't know how to feel about this because supposedly from what we just showed, it was just learned that Indiana Jones, iconic hat, as you can see in the display if you're watching the visual, the Indiana Jones hat, the very iconic hat, has just sold at an auction. And now again, understanding that this is a part of cinematic history, you would think somewhere in the ballpark of someone that is a diehard George Lucas fan, Indiana Jones fan, Harrison Ford fan, I could see paying, just throwing a number out there, $20,000 to $50,000. But $630,000 for this hat. Over $500,000 this hat was sold. Let me say it again. $630,000. I just want to know, where can I meet these people who just throw money like that so we can do more with what I got going on? Like, I'm not saying it's a dumb move for their money. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying, where do they hang out? So I could potentially have a conversation with them. Like, is it Whole Foods? Is it at the golf course? Is it at pickleball? I've just heard about pickleball. Or is that where these type of people are? Because I just want to talk to them for a second. That's it. I just want to have a conversation with them. Just about, like, if you're willing to do that, the measly $20,000 I'm going to ask for should not faze you in the slightest. That's all I'm going to say on that. And the other side of me as a creative can only wonder if anything that I create within this future will ever go for something like that. You know, like with all the movies and television shows that I have like created as pitch decks and stuff like that, I'm curious of, like, will I have a prop from one of these films that will go like that, where somebody's like, bro, you know, somebody just paid like over $500,000 for that orb that you had in your franchise, in your movie franchise. Like, somebody just bought this up for like $500,000. Like, so it leaves me hopeful because of the fact that if you can create that much joy for somebody to throw $500,000 to have your hat, mind you, he didn't even wear that hat in the first movie, or what it was, I think Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, he didn't even wear that in that hat. He didn't even wear that in there. He buying it from the one people don't even really like all that well. Well, I think people love Temple of Doom. Never mind. I think Temple of Doom, that's what he wore that. He didn't even wear the other ones. And they paid over $500,000. Dollars. Not yen, not peso. Dollars. That could have paid everybody rent that's watching this right now. I just want y'all to know that everybody that's in this chat, everybody that's watching this live right now, all of our rents could have been paid. And to Gillis 713 over at Instagram, you're right. It's not a bad investment. And the fact that we know that that's the number, imagine what he can now give it for. He'll get that back. Like with time and age, he'll get that back. Because this art, this is technically art. Like if he preserve it, put it in a glass case to where it don't get old, it's sitting there. Like he can give this to museums. Yeah, Rich homie. That was Temple of Doom when he was running from the big boulder and stuff. But if you think about it, King Mike Hall, like you could put that in museums. We know so many museums where they show like these art, like like these rare assets from and rare props from movies and stuff, and how much they move frequently. Like frequently, they are displayed everywhere around the world. So just imagine the money you can make with that, because that's what a lot of people do with art that people don't understand. Like folks will buy art and then museums want to put their stuff in there. So it's like, okay, cool. I will let you use this for X amount of dollars. Okay, bet. And we're going to have it here displayed for the next like year or so. That's why them shits be switching out, but that's how they make their money and the property of it go up. Because so many people start wanting it, it becomes a popular piece. So it's like, yo, I have to have etching sketches night at the Roxbury in my museum. I have to have it in there. So they're going to want it and will pay whatever price that it starts going up. It's the same thing with this Indiana Jones hat. All this fandom that's going on, he'll make that money back. But once again, if y'all can just if I could just know where they hang out, like if I could just know where those people are at, because I can sit down and talk about Indiana Jones. I have some great perspective on that, and we can also talk about how they could fund this. I'm just, I'm not telling people what to do with their money, but I'm just saying. It's a lot of bank for a hat. And I'm only asking for like a third of that for what I need to do. Just throwing it out there. But we're going to keep it pushing. That was the hat. Superman, James Gunn has a Shanae asks, how does the person know that that's the real hat? Now I will say they'll show authentication for that. Like that's like if you've paid that much for a hat, I am guaranteed that you will have somebody up there giving like to make sure the authenticity is there. Like no, that's the hat. That's the hat. That's it. That's you. Superman, James Gunn has announced that Superman has finished filming the entire movie, and the majority of the rest of the time, because we know it's not going to be coming out, I believe, until later into 2025. They're going to be spending the rest of their time working on visual effects, so they make sure that they get everything right. And we've already seen with some of the complaints from Disney not always having that CGI fully where it needs to be. So I get it. Shout out to Bliss over there on Instagram. Hope you're doing well as the heat, I hope, is changing in Texas to a nice autumn breeze. But yeah, I believe them taking a good amount of time to work on the visual effects is very important, and still just shows how much detail and steps that James Gunn is taking to be able to present DC in a better light than it has been within the last couple of years. So shout out to them. I'm looking forward to it. I'm still a fan of, like the Mr. Terrific, despite some other people's backlash from it. I've seen him. I've seen Hawk Girl's outfit. So I'm intrigued to see what this movie is going to be like, no matter what. And I will be in theaters to watch it. Sticking with DC news, now if you know, Michael Keaton had him a little run in returning as Batman. If you were able to watch through the entire Flash film, I know some people didn't manage to finish it, but if you're able to get through it, you got to see Michael Keaton don the Batman suit one more time. But for those that weren't aware of this story, we also got deprived of seeing him once again wear this suit and don it as the Batman. So, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, before The Flash came out, there was another DC project that was supposed to drop by the title of Batgirl. Batgirl was directed by Adil El-Arbi and Bilal Fallah. I apologize because I'm sure I butchered the fuck out of those names, but I tried my best nonetheless. They were the directors behind Batgirl, and unfortunately, the WB added this to the collection of titles that they would not release into the public. Now, mind you, Batgirl was already done filming. The project was completed. Same as Coyote versus Acme. This movie is completed, but WB had decided that they would not put it out into the world for distribution. I don't know if it came from them not being able to cook up the deal that they wanted with whoever was trying to distribute it, but for some reason or another, it was washed. And we were deprived of another cameo from Michael Keaton as Batman. And so this was recently brought up to him in the interview, and he says he didn't care one way or the other. It was big fun to him and a nice check. So although we felt deprived and didn't get what we wanted, Michael Keaton got exactly what he wanted and said, I got paid, so I don't get two shits with that. And that's why they say he's one of the best Batman. That was such a Bruce Wayne type of comment to give. It's just like, yo, this man thinks he's Batman. Like Ryan Reynolds thinking he's Deadpool, Michael Keaton somehow thinks he's Batman. Like, I know he'd be sitting in there practicing like that sinister look of like the Bruce Wayne where he's just that. I'm telling you, this dude thinks he's Batman. And as he should, because Michael Keaton is a phenomenal Batman. My number one is Ben Affleck. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That was the most comic accurate Batman. That Batman scared the shit out of me. I don't care what nobody say. That is my geek blasphemy right there. But yeah, so once again, we don't know if Batgirl will ever come out. Michael Keaton did, however, state after just being so riz about his comment, he did, however, said he did feel bad for the directors. He liked those boys. They were nice guys, and he could tell that they were very passionate about the project that they were going to put out. So once again, hopefully with things somewhat trying to return back to normalcy in Hollywood, maybe we'll get to see the Batgirl get released somewhere on a streaming platform. Hopefully Max will decide like, hey, we'll air it out just to see what happens. Only time will tell. But again, still sticking into DC news, we are moving on to the Joker. The Joker 2 is fast approaching movie theaters, coming out in October. Joaquin Phoenix along with Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn. You've seen the trailers. It is looped to be this musical type of feel to it. I'm talking about musical performance out the behind. And now we also have learned that the opening of the Joker 2 will commence in a Looney Tunes inspired animated short starring the Joker. So we are going to get a Looney Tunes style cartoon of the Joker that is going to open the movie. And I believe with the tone of the film and how they're doing this stuff, going from very dark gray tones of Gotham City and how it's looking to these vibrant musical numbers that they're going to use to interpret what's going on for us. I just think this is so on brand for this film. And I cannot wait to see. I do hope it is in the classic Mel Blanc style. Like, I really hope it's that. I hope it goes into that very old feel of cartoons. Kind of starts with the even the red circles coming out and somebody saying something. I hope it's that. I don't even mind it also having the intros be like that. Like DC's intros and stuff like that come in Looney Tune style. So I just think it's a great addition to us of what's going on with the Joker. So other news that's also going on with him is a lot of people wanted to know with the Joker 2 fast approaching, what would the Joker 3 look like after this drop? Now, obviously, this is a loaded question because, of course, the second one has not come out. So it's very hard to answer this one. But Todd Phillips gave us a very straight answer about a third installment to this Joker franchise and said that there will not be one. You can forget it, is what he stated. But basically, Todd Phillips believes that they have been able to tell the whole story of Arthur Fleck in this second Joker film. So he says that this film will tie in everything when it comes to this story. And as you can hear, I live in Gotham City as well. So, it's only right that I'm talking about this as you hearing crime happening outside. So I can understand that. But I get it too. I get it to not want to stretch it out or stretch it to where it doesn't need to be. Because if you think about it, we're still in a very constricted time frame because the Joker is going to be picking up after the incidents of what happened. So this is kind of telling this guy's story during one particular set of situations that's going to go on. And so I understand why they wouldn't want it to have to lead to the next, or now we have to give something more about what Bruce Wayne is going to be. I understand him wanting to keep the focus on this one particular story of how this person became this and how this environment around him changed and how it changed him and also the people. So I get if he's able to tell that in this whole sequel and he's able to wrap that up in a bow, I can completely understand why he doesn't want to add a third film. But just like we always know, never say never, because for some, might be sitting down one day and think about it and it's like, you know what, I could give one more story to the Joker. So we don't know, but as of right now, according to Todd Phillips, we will not be getting a third installment to this Joker franchise, and that we will have to settle for the beautiful story that the Joker 2 will be. And you don't have to wait that long because it is dropping in October, and we are fresh fresh on the heels of September and saying goodbye to August. So October is going to be here in no time. So moving forward into more news, that's I don't know how to put this. Because I'm confused. So Chick-fil-A is moving into Chick-fil-A is moving aggressively into entertainment with its own streaming service. So let's somebody got to walk me through this. Somebody got to walk me through this. So Chick-fil-A is having a streaming service. So are they just going to be streaming a menu? Or are they going to be streaming like how they make the nuggets? What is the content going to be? Are you going to Tubi this thing out and have licensed stuff in here? And also I know that they're more on the religious side as well. So it's is Growing Pains and Kirk Cameron films going to be on Chick-fil-A streaming site? Walk me through how this goes. Is it original content? From what they are saying is that they're reportedly working with multiple production companies to produce a slate of family-friendly reality and scripted television to support a streaming platform expected to launch later this year. We're in August, which means this shit is I mean, I'm very curious to see what the benefit of Chick-fil-A doing this. First of all, Chick-fil-A must have got a lot of money if they're able to do this, especially after hearing like Apple TVs saying that they need to take a step back after all the money losses that they have. I'm very curious to see how the masses that they do have for the restaurant, if that transfers to them going over to the streaming site. Because I get it. A lot of people loves Chick-fil-A. Loves Chick-fil-A so much. But I don't know if that's going to necessarily transfer over to a Chick-fil-A streaming site. Like, just because I like your nuggets don't mean I'm finna go pay fucking $7.99, $9.99 a month to watch your stuff. You know, unless, like y'all say, they're giving out some discount nuggets or some discount chicken. I am curious to see the confidence that they're betting on that this is going to work. And is it going to stream on Sundays? Is also I think that's one of the biggest questions. Like, is it closed on Sunday? Like, can I not stream on Sundays as well as Chick-fil-A not being open? Because I don't want to see no Chick-fil-A commercial and I can't go to Chick-fil-A. That's going to be wild. Like that, you can't tell me use your discount code to get yourself one of them frozen lemonades and I can't order it because it's Sunday. So I am very curious, like, does it go down for maintenance on Sundays? Like, you can't stream nothing on the Chick-fil-A network? Wild news. But if done, I see so many other restaurants jumping on this bandwagon, which is going to be hilarious. And I really think that they're going to Taco Bell's next. Taco Bell would definitely be next. If Chick-fil-A does it, Taco Bell is right behind them. Taco Bell is always trying to rebrand, but always trying to reinvent the wheel with what they're doing. So Taco Bell would definitely be next. I could see it so clearly if this works. So we shall see, as it is scheduled to come out later this year. Chick-fil-A network. Wow. Also, in other news, Rotten Tomatoes. For those who don't know, Rotten Tomatoes is a site where people judge movies harshly, stupidly, delusionally. They're very not demure as these kids are using today when it comes to it. And they have continued to up their drama as they now have a verified hot by Rotten Tomatoes. This new feature is going to now go into the hands of the people. So for those that don't know, Rotten Tomatoes normally will have a critic that will critique these movies and let them know if it's certified fresh or if it's a dud. But then there's also the fan votes that will state if this was a good film or if it was not. And depending on how much that is, it could get certified as a verified hot. I'll be the first person to say I don't give two shits about none of this. It's news that I know we have to report because it's on here. I could not care less what Rotten Tomatoes think. I really don't particularly care what people think about movies. I have people that I respect their opinion about a movie, and I will ask them about it. But I think reviewing movies has got and just reviews in general has just gotten so bad that I choose to not want to read them or find out for myself, because with everything that goes on with social media, from trailers, from these exclusive releases and footages, from, like the bootleg trailers that they put out, for everybody trying to get there first in this race of entertainment to tell everything about a movie or about a TV show before it even comes out, has really taken away the magic that is movies. It's taken away the spark. It's taken away the curiosity of what's going to happen in this story when you know a lot about it already. So I chose to not allow myself to ever be affected by reviews. I don't go look at what Rotten Tomatoes says. I don't go looking for what anybody says about these things. If how I feel about it when I'm seeing the trailer, if it has me interested, I'm going to check it out. Why? Because I'm going to go in it with an open mind. Now, I try to do that with Marvel on some occasions, but we know how that rabbit hole goes. And so, of course, we like to have fun trying to figure out what we may see. But I started going back into movies with an open mind of like, I want to see exactly what's happening, what the story's going to be. And I'm not sitting here trying to just figure it out while the movie's going. I'm letting the movie, I'm sitting here and I'm going to enjoy the movie. Same thing with the TV series. Like House of the Dragon, although it pissed me off at the end with not giving us no smoke in the second season, I don't know what the books are like. And I'm not going to go review the books until this is finished, because I want to sit and enjoy it. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what's going on, and I'm not going to know fully what's going on till season 3, to the whole series end, because I ain't watching the shit no more after what they did in season 2. But I say that to say, I like to go into movies with a curiosity again. I like to go into a TV show with a curiosity and not everyone's opinion about why I wouldn't like this or why I was missing that. I don't want to know what you thought. I want to know what I thought, or who somebody I respect thought that's a little bit maybe even like-minded of me, or even opposite-minded of me. So then that way I have a middle. But I just can't do with what a lot of people in reviews do to these films, do to these shows, because a lot of them don't get a chance to really give what needs to be given just because of these people writing this stuff. So for those that do like it, I'm sure you're gonna love Verified Hot when it hits. Just gives you a little bit more to talk about of whether or not you're gonna go see the movie or not. So congrats to y'all. We've learned some very interesting news about Hulkamania. Apparently, Hulkamania will not be running wild in theaters. For those that didn't know, Hulk Hogan was going to be getting a biopic film, and Chris Hemsworth was going to be playing Hulk Hogan in the film. And it was to be directed by Todd Phillips, the same guy that we just talked about with the Joker. But Todd Phillips, along with letting us know about Joker 3 not happening, the Hulk biopic is no longer happening. Chris Hemsworth, I believe, was cast in this around 2019. But we know with COVID and everything, I know it slowed down a lot of stuff happening, and then with his schedule. But I cannot say it is due to some of the antics that the Hulk has been doing lately. But Todd Phillips let us know that the biopic is not happening. And I'm going to be 100% honest when it comes to this. I could not care two shits less at all. I didn't want to see a Hulk biopic. I don't want to see Hulkamania. I understand what he's done for the business, but I also understand what he's done to cripple this business. So I did not see them showing all the aspects of Hulk within this film. So it's just one of those that I'm glad to see that it is put on the show. Unlike Batgirl, unlike the Acolytes, this one is definitely one you can keep. So I think that is great news. And I just can't wait to now get Chris Hemsworth back so he can do Thor 5 and give us a better version of Love and Thunder, because that one was different. That was different. Not gonna say it was bad like a lot of people keep saying, but that one was different. So yeah, that's it for him. Now I have to address this. Because we talked about this in the previous episode, and we're talking about Robert Downey Jr. cast as Dr. Doom with Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, we did learn a little bit more information about Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom, and what we learned is he is going to come from the same universe as the Fantastic Four. And of course, if y'all don't know, the Fantastic Four film First Steps comes out, I believe, July 25th of next year. It is not within our reality. The 616 universe is not where the Fantastic Four are going to be. They're going to be on a different, completely universe, which I think answers a lot of questions when it comes to Doctor Doom, and it's just a few things to consider. Now, again, like I said, I wasn't against it. I was just disappointed because it felt lazy. But I understand now that it makes the most sense, and here's why. Doctor Doom is just Iron Man with magic included. That's his only missing piece, is that Doctor Doom has magic. Doctor Doom is Iron Man. He literally is Iron Man. Iron Man got the Iron Legion. Doctor Doom got Doombots. The only difference is both of these cats just can't sit at Red Lobster with their mask off. Iron Man can. Doctor Doom, not so much. But they're basically the same person. And so I think also, too, that kind of gave me a step back into seeing this is him being a part of the Fantastic Four's reality. Because now we also know that makes him semi not the official Doctor Doom of the MCU. Now, depending on what happens with Secret Wars, if it only becomes one timeline again, he may become 616 Doctor Doom. But since we are kind of still dealing with the multiverse saga from what it appears to be, we still could have a different Doctor Doom pop up as 616 being played by someone else. So, I don't not like this, but it's just one of those things of it's the future of it. So does this mean too, like with this him being Doctor Doom, do we only get Doom from Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and is that it for the Doom story? Are we only telling him through two of these movies? And if we're not, and if he, let's say for instance, continues to be the big bad or not, like, is Robert Downey Jr. going to carry Doctor Doom for another 10 years? Or do we see his end on Avengers Secret Wars? I think those are some of the questions that I keep having, but also keep pushing me back to being able to be okay with this decision of having him in here. But just what is the future of Doctor Doom, and if we're only going to get him in the years of 2025 and 2026? Because I would love to see him in other stuff. And so again, those are the questions. Again, we have some questions answered, but we still got a lot of questions that's circling around. But one thing is for sure, though, we're not going to be disappointed in the film. Like, we already know Robert Downey Jr. is going to do an amazing job playing Doctor Doom. We're not discrediting that. We're not running from that. But, it's just to give those that are still kind of just like, no. It's to give y'all a little bit of ease and a little bit of, okay, we'll see how this plays out. Now, speaking of things also, I guess I was about to do a whole new mask, same task, but I guess it's same mask, new task. So there have been a lot of reports going around that Wesley Snipes' Blade might become the official MCU's Blade. With all the crap we've been having with Mahershala Ali's Blade, from story, from directors dropping out, from actors dropping out, from all of the struggles that we've had, and to see such positive response of Wesley Snipes returning in Deadpool and Wolverine, there has now been a lot of talk of this man continuing to be Blade in the MCU, more directly to setting up the Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns are a group that is derived of folks like, of folks like Blade, Doctor Strange, Wong, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and so many others, and villains sort of like Mephisto and other people. I don't mind this because to King Mike's Hall in the chat, this is how it should have been in the first place. We do know that he's still in shape. I think it still shows for excellent story, and we've seen how many times of what we think this Blade could be doing. One thing that Ryan Reynolds, I think, really put out into the internet that people are buzzing over and really want to see is Blade getting his own Logan-style film. giving him one more film to be able to ride off into the sunset, even giving a phenomenal plot to it. But I think also being able to lead him within to Midnight Suns. So I'm not sure how Wesley Snipes is going to feel about wanting to bring back the Blade character. I believe he does. And I do hope that they do something with him. Now, I do see in the comments, Big Beck 70 asks, is nostalgia clouding the progress for the Blade character / storytelling? I don't think so. I think if anything, it actually helps blend in with what they're trying to do for this other layer of Marvel, which is the supernatural world where we know kind of gets more into the R ratings. I think it's just them wanting to figure out how do you tell this story of Blade, and I just don't think any of them have been figuring out how to tell it right. And I think having Blade here, along with Doomsday and Secret Wars coming through, because remember, Secret Wars moves into Battle World where everybody's going to be fighting it out, where it could also mean they're going to be fighting for a sacred timeline. So, in doing so, I could see why you would want someone like Wesley Snipes' version here that's already kind of aware of the stuff. But I don't think nostalgia is clouding it. I think this man can still go. And I do believe in what Ryan Reynolds said as saying that he does deserve his Logan style film. This is the godfather of the MCU. He deserves better than Blade 3. I'm just going to throw that out there. Blade 3 is very mid. And that's no fault to him. That's no fault to the actors. It is just how they decided that they want to go in the direction of the film is definitely just not the best way it should have. Wesley Snipes has already expressed his frustration when it came to them doing the film like that. So I believe he deserves at least a fourth film for us to see him within a dope light and being able to get a proper send-off and even being included into what the MCU can do for the stories that they want to tell for people within his same realm. So I'm here for it. No disrespect to Mahershala Ali, because he can still pop up in a different universe. So no disrespect to him at all. Would love to see him don the suit, the sword, and everything, and the edge up. But I am definitely here for Wesley Snipes' Blade being in the MCU. And no, Easy Not, he did not die in Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool asked them to restore their timeline. So now Fox's universes are included within the MCU. They're there now. So these things have happened. It's not something of like they're not going to include it because Deadpool is here, which means all of these things have actually happened and they have their worlds back. So shout out to him. I hope to see more Wesley Snipes' Blade and very much looking forward to seeing what the MCU is hitting with us next year. Some very hilarious news. Paul Rudd and Jack Black want to make a new Anaconda film. Now, if you've seen Anaconda, and the original Anaconda had Ice Cube, Jennifer Lopez, and Angelina Jolie's daddy in there. Let me tell y'all something. Anaconda is a good movie. I'm not calling it one of the best movies ever, but Anaconda was a good movie. But it is so good that Jack Black and Paul Rudd want to make a new one, but there's a different spin on how they want to do it. They want to make a movie about these two trying to remake the Anaconda original movie. So it's a film about them rebooting this film. And I just think that it's going to be fucking hilarious. First of all, Paul Rudd and Jack Black together on the screen, you already done sold me. But now them taking a story like this one, and especially Anaconda, because like Anaconda is a cult classic. Like if you want to put like the whole cult classic like roster up, Anaconda sits there. All right. You could throw on Anaconda at 2 p.m. on TBS and halfway sleep watch that one. You could be just like this, and that thing gonna put you off. But you go watch the full thing. You go watch Anaconda to the fullest because that shit is good. That shit is a cult classic. And having two comedic actors like this show the world of how rebooting even works. Like, I think that's even a cool approach on it, of showing them like how we're going to remake a cult classic for today's, audience. So I think them two would do a great job being able to narrate how people's minds work when it comes to wanting to have these type of reboots, and what it comes into, and what it comes as a part of trying to make these reboots. So I'm all here for it. So I hope this is something that they green light and they put out, and I will be one of the first ones to watch it. I don't know if it'll be a streaming original, or like Prime picks it up or something like that, or they put it in theaters. But I think the two of these guys doing a movie together is just going to be absolute gold. Moving on, it seems like somebody at Disney jumped the gun a little bit. If you had the chance to be up during the time this was going on, it seems that a sizzle reel was put onto Disney social media platforms that showed a couple of shots that they were not trying to have out just yet. There was a shot of Charlie Cox's Daredevil, Red Hulk, and Ironheart were featured in this reel, as well as the Thunderbolts. So I believe the trailer that was shown at Comic-Con had a clip of the Thunderbolts within this as well, but it showed a few clips of what the upcoming shows and movies are going to look like. But Disney was like, hey, we weren't trying to put that out, and took it down immediately, so much to the point where no one got a chance to actually obtain the sizzle reel, but they were able to at least get a screenshot of it before it was taken down. But from what it was shown, it seems like Marvel is definitely stepping it up and getting back into their bag within the next phase of this MCU. So I'm glad also too that it was taken down as well. Feed me like I'm at a restaurant with my stuff. I don't need to see all that yet. I want to be entertained. I want to be wined and dined in my MCU, okay? Feed me my appetizer. Give me a trailer of the Captain America already like you did. But let's hold out a little bit. Like, Daredevil ain't coming this year, so like that's okay. But we can give me a little bit of the Thunderbolts. Give me a teaser within the next couple of weeks. We got to space this out. Y'all got to let these people cook. And that's just to Disney. That's not to anybody that's watching or anything like that, but that is to Disney. Let's space this out. Less is more. And we okay with less, because that way we will more go watch it. I could have said that better. I could have said we could go watch it more, but I'm excited because I can't wait for Daredevil Born Again. And our last and final story, Gamescom was this past weekend, and they dropped a lot of stuff about video games. So I'm gonna try to do an episode of that by itself. But one of the big takeaways was a new series that's coming out to Prime called Secret Level. Now, Secret Level is an anthology series. So each episode is something different. So the best way to relate to that is the Netflix series Love and Robots. So if you are familiar with that show, Love, Death, and Robots, excuse me. If you are familiar with that show, you'll know that each episode is always a different story being told. Sometimes those stories do come back within the next season to continue them in some kind of way. But this is what Secret Level is going to be just like. And this is going to be centered around some of the best video games that have come out. I'm talking about a whole episode dedicated to the story of Mega Man, Pac-Man, God of War, Warhammer, Call of Duty. So many of these video games you're going to be kind of taking within the world of these video games and put into a completely different perspective of this video game. And I just got to say, I have no idea how they're sitting with this. I know Keanu Reeves is in one of these. If you've seen the trailer, I love to play the trailer on here, but copyright issues be kind of getting us. So If you've not gone and seen the trailer for Secret Level, I implore you to go and check it out, especially if you are a gamer, if you love video games, if you like video games, if you are okay with video games. I still want you to go check out this trailer because Secret Level looks like it is going to deliver when it comes to this, especially if you have the people from Love, Death, and Robots behind making this for them. I cannot wait to see it. I believe it's going to be dropping in December, so we don't have long to wait. I'm looking forward to seeing what other video games they are going to make into stories and how these stories are going to be told. So, that really wraps up this episode of Straight Out of a Comic Book. We had a lot that we discussed today, from Robert Downey Jr., from meth being sold into a Pokemon shop. Surprisingly, Robert Downey Jr. was not there when that was happening. If you my age, you see the correlations with that. But thank you so much for checking out another episode of Straight Out of a Comic Book. Now, as I've said, with Straight Out of a Comic Book, we are moving our lives. It will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now. Normally between these times of 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. You'll just have to stay on my socials. We will always let you know when stuff is dropping, what time it's going to be coming out, and what platforms that they're going to be on. We'll be doing episodes like these, but also episodes that are featuring guests, episodes like the ones you just watched. I'll also be chopping those up to put in as smaller videos on the Straight Out of a Comic Book YouTube channel, and as well as my page as well. So just so you can get to some of the ones that you like, but you can see the full version on the Straight Out of a Comic Book YouTube channel. As you already know, the links have been in the bios, all through the chat as well. Make sure you support by just hitting subscribe on YouTube and follow on those. It's just one click of a button, and everybody got a YouTube channel. So all I ask is that you go and support. The merch will be coming soon, not only for myself, but also for Straight Out of a Comic Book. And that'll be the best way that you can support this platform as well. I'm so glad to have been on here today. I'm glad to be back feeling much better. Was very cool to have this on Instagram, on Twitch, and on YouTube. Y'all make this such a dope show, and it's only going to keep getting better. And I'm looking forward to continue to deliver this content for y'all. But that is going to wrap this episode. So I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend. It is now starting to get into that autumn type weather. So please go out and get some sun. Have a great time this weekend. Enjoy yourself. I also think like Labor Day weekend is this weekend coming up or next weekend. But either way, this weekend, do something dope for yourself because you deserve it. Get some sun. Enjoy some friends. And love up on somebody, have some good vibes. I'm going to catch y'all next time.